This is Nick.
This is Jack.
Welcome back. It is Monday, December 9th, and today's pod is the best one yet. This is a TBOY.
The top 3 pop business news stories you need to know today.
How was the restaurant? Did you guys eat something new on the menu again?
Oh, at Electra's?
Yeah, did you get the whole menu?
Dude, we're only like halfway through. I told you the babysitters have fallen through. But this weekend I got steak frites. It was good.
Medium rare? Take it any day. Jack, 3 stories for today's TBOY. What do we got on the pod?
For our first story, Lululemon stock jumped 19% on Friday, all because of one single word.
Newness. Lululemon is obsessed with newness.
And so are we now. For our second story, it's Shaboozy's A Bar Song. That song is tied for the longest streak ever at #1 on the music charts.
But Shaboozy's greatest hit is really a business lesson on breaking genres.
And our third and final story, Google just unveiled its most powerful AI product yet, a weather forecaster.
Google just became the world's most powerful weather fortune teller. Hey, Roker, you're up.
But Yetis, before we hit that wonderful mix of stories.
Fantastic mix of stories to kick off the week. Love the mix, Jack.
For 4 years now, we've heard rumors that TikTok might be getting banned someday.
Warning, Yetis, that day is January 19th.
Because here's the news. On Friday, the U.S. Federal Appeals Court ruled that Congress can ban TikTok.
Which is huge because Congress already voted to ban TikTok. And President Biden, he already signed the ban of TikTok.
It's a law that was passed last year. TikTok must sell away from its Chinese ownership by January 19th, or the app is banned nationwide.
So now that TikTok has lost the appeal, it is final, it is official, TikTok will be banned.
So, unless something crazy happens, which is possible.
Yeah, it happens. These things happen.
On January 19th, the day before the presidential inauguration, there will be no more TikTok in America.
We repeat, hashtag the country's most popular app will be blocked.
Pour one out for Addison Rae.
And the only way you're going to be going viral, besties, is in a hospital.
But we actually have a big theory about the impact of the TikTok ban.
Jack and I were talking over the weekend, and we have got a big, bold, beautiful, bullish theory about the TikTok ban.
Here it is. Banning TikTok may actually be the most powerful boost for our economy ever.
Yet think about how much time we're all going to get back if TikTok is banned.
This could be a huge productivity unlock.
I mean, Jack, you can't drive, you can't work, you can't hammer, you can't sew, you can't even whip up a takeaway while you're scrolling on TikTok.
If there's no TikTok, that's good for Netflix's business.
And if there's no TikTok, that's good for your boss's business.
Because you'll probably finish more TPS reports if TikTok isn't tempting you.
Right.
So banning TikTok would be like an economic stimulus program.
Hey, Jerry Powell, forget lower interest rates. This TikTok ban, it's an economic boost.
So Yetis, unless the Supreme Court intervenes, TikTok will be banned on January 19th.
And if stocks hit all-time highs next month, it'll be because of Nick and Jack's TikTok ban boom theory.
Let us know what you think in the comments.
We're still working on the name, so you can let us know about that too. Jack, let's hit our 3 stories.
15 years before this song, 2 boys from the Northeast met in the dorm. They had an idea that caused a cultural storm. It's the best one yet, but the best is the norm. Jack, Nick, that's it. I don't even think they need to practice. 50%, that's a fat tip. TBOY City on your at list. If you know, cause we ready to go. We can't wait no more, so just start the show. Start the show.
For our first story, Lululemon stock soared 19% on Friday thanks to one single word.
So we're sharing Lululemon's recipe for staying young even when you're old.
Now, Yetis, earlier this fall in September, Lululemon published a report that, honestly, we kind of just had to mention this, didn't we, Jack?
Here's the headline. Lululemon's Global Wellbeing Report shows the pressure to keep up with well-being is making people feel unwell. That was the headline of their press release.
I'm unwell having heard that headline, Jack.
Well, Lululemon stock is doing quite well.
Good point, Jack, because Lulu shares have jumped 19% on Friday on really some fantastically in-shape earnings.
Because those leggings are stretching across the globe as we speak.
Get this, Lulu was driven by international sales, which jumped 33% last quarter. Not too shabby.
Also, Lululemon is now an equal gender business.
That's right, yeah. Revenue was up 8% for women's wear, and it was up 9% for men's wear.
Although, interesting thing we noticed in their earnings, Lululemon refers to all their customers using the female pronoun.
You know, Jack and I are here. Jack and I are here. I just want to point that out. We're here as well, guys.
I'm actually wearing Lulu socks right now.
I knew you were. I knew you would be doing that.
But another funny thing Nick and I noticed about the earnings.
On the earnings call, we noticed there was one word that they said more than any other word, and we had never really heard this word.
The word was newness.
Newness.
We'd never seen that word, so we counted the number of times the executive used the word newness in their earnings call.
Okay, so we jumped in TBOY style. We even went back in history to see when Lulu executives started saying the word newness. And Jack, why don't you whip up the numbers from the whiteboard for us?
It appears they started saying newness 4 quarters ago.
Yeah.
In that earnings call, they used the word 1 time.
Okay.
The next earnings call, they used the word newness 12 times.
Interesting.
Then they used it 32 times.
And last week, Lululemon executives said the word newness 44 times. 44 times.
It's like the CEO said newness, and then he's like, I like this word. I'm going to make it our whole corporate strategy.
I haven't said the word newness 4 times in my entire life.
So we're all asking,
what is newness?
Lululemon explained. It's when they bring innovation into their core categories where they already have significant strength.
Translation, they add a new pattern every couple quarters.
Pretty much. Lululemon's core category is leggings, or the bottom business, as they call it.
Great name. So this holiday season, if you stroll into a Lulu store, Yetis, you're going to notice updated colors, prints, and patterns, aka the newness.
Even though you've been to a Lululemon store a dozen times, you're going to notice newness.
The newness. Let's say the newness. Are you down with the newness? It sounds more like a cult if we say it that way.
The newness is a floral print here, urban camo print there.
And she has responded well to the newness.
Yes, she has.
So Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Lululemon?
Without newness, even the best thing will feel old.
So now that I've heard newness so many times, Jack, the word sounds weird to me. You know what I mean?
The newness.
Oh yeah, the newness. Yetis, Lululemon tracks newness actually as their most important metric. They measure new items to existing items as a ratio.
And it's working.
It is.
Because the stock is up 75% since August.
Besties, despite the trend toward nostalgia, newness is a factor that established brands shouldn't forget.
Car companies, fashion brands, tech companies, even podcasts. Even you as a friend or romantic partner. How are you bringing newness into your game right now?
We're looking at you, buddy, Timmy. Well, actually, Jack, all right, so here's one. I have basically peanut butter and almond butter every single day. I have my go-to Skippies, but I like to weave in a new almond butter flavor every 2 weeks. So I've got the maple flavor. That's my standard. But then I'll bring in a coconut every now and then.
Is that impressing?
Everyone.
Yeah, who's okay?
Do you have a newness?
I jot down the most interesting things I come across in the day.
Okay.
And then I save it for my after-work conversation with my wife. I bring something new into the house from outside every day.
You're literally bringing newness from your day into your conversations at home at night.
Because without newness, even the best thing will feel old.
I think you mean without the newness, even the best thing will feel old. For our second story, the #1 song of 2024, it's Shaboozy's A Bar Song.
Because Shaboozy's country rap hit isn't about drinking. It's really about the economy.
Now, Jack, before we begin this story, we should apologize to a few of our loyal listeners. Taylor, Sabrina, Kendrick. Unfortunately, the biggest song of the year was not yours. It was Shaboozy's A Bar Song.
I love that we're on a first name basis with all of those artists.
It's a good group.
A Bar Song, the 3-minute hip hop and country mashup about downing whiskey at 10 a.m. over and over again.
Now, it is not just Jack's and my audio opinion here, because there is a bunch of data that supports this being the #1 song of the year.
A Bar Song has 1 billion streams on Spotify and 3 million video covers on TikTok.
A Bar Song got 5 Grammy nominations, including Best New Artist and Best Song of the Year.
And last weekend, Shaboozy was the musical guest of Saturday Night Live,
which speaks for itself.
But this week, Shaboozy's A Bar Song could make history. It could break the record for the most weeks in a row at #1 on the charts.
19. Yes, this song has been on the Billboard top charts as #1 for 19 straight weeks. Who's that?
That's tied with Lil Nas X, Old Town Road.
Someone pour me another shot of whiskey.
Only if he gets to 20 weeks in a row.
Then we're all getting another shot of whiskey. But Yetis, within those lyrics, Jack and I noticed something fascinating. This isn't really a song about everyone at a bar getting tipsy, is it, Jack?
This song is about finances.
Gen Z, sorry, Jack Daniels, they don't even drink whiskey anymore.
So the bar song, it's really about the economy.
And we dove in TBOY style to the lyrics, and you can see this basically beginning with the first stanza, right, man?
Here's one lyric: gasoline and groceries. The list goes on and on.
Well, inflation sucks. We're all feeling it, and we've been feeling it for a few years.
Here's another lyric: this 9 to 5, it ain't working.
Yeah, workers are feeling stuck. Wages haven't risen like inflation has. It's frustrating for workers.
And one more lyric: my girlfriend just bought a Birkin.
That's the interesting twist, because the wealthiest Americans have seen their portfolios popping off. Stocks are at all-time highs while the 9 to 5 ain't working.
In this economy, Shaboozy's song resonates because it empathizes across the spectrum.
It's really an economic song.
Also, it's catchy and clean enough that parents listen with their kids in the backseat.
Yeah, it's true. Maxie loves listening to this. Like,
1, 2, and the 3, and the 3, and the 4. It's like a nursery rhyme.
basically, Shaboozy's a bar song is the new Baby Shark.
Not sure what he thinks about that, but yeah, I'll take it.
We'll have to ask Grandpa Shark, Jack. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddy Shaboozy?
Just like in politics, products can build a big tent.
Yetis, there's also a strategic reason why a bar song is number one right now. This song transcends genres.
Every musical artist is put in a genre box.
It's true.
You're either rap, pop, rock, country, or classic, or emo.
That's what the industry does to you. It puts you in a box.
But the sound of Shaboozy as a bar song transcends that. Get this, it reached the Billboard Top 10 charts in 4 different categories.
4 categories.
No other song has ever done that.
And on top of it, no other song has been number one overall for so many weeks in a row.
In politics, we sometimes get a leader who builds a big tent. They win across many different voting groups.
Well, in business, there can be big tents too. And Shaboozy is the perfect example of it.
Don't let them stick you in one genre box.
Hey, Yetis, if you're a bestie, take a sec and hit that subscribe button.
And like this video while you're at it. If you leave a comment, by the way, we'll read it.
For our third and final story, Google has built an AI-powered weather predictor that is the best in the world and the history of humanity.
By far.
By far.
We can now know the weather 15 days ahead. That's not just a joy booster, it's a GDP booster.
But Yetis, 1996. That's the year that Al Roker became America's weatherman.
That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Well, Google just unveiled a new weather forecasting model that they call GenCast.
But we're calling it the Super Roker. Super Roker.
Because Google's Super Roker outperformed the world's best weather forecasting models 97.2% of the time.
Sit down, stand up, and bring in a low-pressure situation over here, Jack.
That's according to a paper published last week in the journal Nature.
The European Weather Agency even called this new Google Super Roker significant as a milestone in the evolution of weather forecasting.
It is so good, it will expand our weather forecast that we have available from 10 days ahead to 15 days ahead.
It's a 50% jump. Besties, if you want to know if it's going to rain on your wedding day next year, Google already knows. All right, not next year. If it's in 2 weeks, they can tell you. Apple, the weather app can't give you 3 days.
And here's the fascinating thing about this Google weather predictor. The model is brand new, but it also has 39 years of weather experience.
We'll explain. We should explain that one, Jack.
Google has fed this AI model all the data that we have on the weather across the world from 1979 to 2018.
April 14th, 6 p.m. It's got the weather, the humidity, and like some third variable that we don't even know about.
In Wichita, Kansas, and in Bangkok, Thailand. Everywhere across the world.
On the other hand, conventional physics-based models of the weather, they only look at the present atmospheric conditions. They don't have any information on the past.
So when this Super Roker is trying to predict the weather for 2 weeks from now, they might say, well, on December 3rd, 1992, we had identical atmospheric conditions as we have today.
Oh, and here's what happened on that day, back on December 3rd, 1992, so something similar will probably happen today.
That's how this Google weather forecaster is 97.2% more accurate than conventional weather forecasters.
The Super Roker, it remembers all the weather that has ever happened in the last 39 years. That's the key.
And you can only do that with AI.
Now, Jack and I should point out, From a business perspective, this is a huge win for Google, isn't it, man?
Internet users across the world have been leaving Google search and instead searching for things with TikTok and ChatGPT.
But Google Weather, if it is this powerful and this accurate, which it is, it might become the new reason to keep google.com as your homepage. So, Jack, there's a 75% chance you've got a takeaway right now. What is the takeaway for our buddies over at Google?
Knowing one unknown could change the entire economy.
Yetis, the weather is about so much more than just whether you can ski or go to the beach on any given day.
It has profound impacts across the entire economy without us realizing.
Okay, a few examples here. In an era of climate change, better predictions on hurricanes, blizzards, and tornadoes could save us billions of dollars.
If we had better sun and wind conditions, then we could know how much we can depend on renewables versus fossil fuels.
And in an era of food scarcity, better weather predictions help farmers, which then helps grocery stores and also helps fast food. Like basically every industry is somehow tied to the weather.
The weather. It affects the stock market way more than you realize.
And if that unknown variable becomes knowable, it could boost our entire economy. Jack, can you whip up the takeaways for us to kick off the week?
Lululemon's focus on newness has kept its oldest product feeling young.
Without the newness, even the best things, they can just feel old.
For our second story, it's Shaboozy. He's been number one on the charts for a record-tying 19 straight weeks.
A bar song!
But it's actually an economic song.
Just like in politics, products can build a big tent too.
And our third and final story, Google's GenCast predicts weather 15 days out, 97% more accurately than the status quo.
We call it the Super Roker, because knowing that one big unknown could change the entire economy.
But Yetis, this pod's not over yet. Here's what else you need to know today.
First, Pantone released the color of the year, and that color is Mocha Mousse, and I like it.
It looks just like it tastes.
It does. It's like soft, creamy, brownish tan. It looks luxurious, like a nice dessert. I feel like Kendall Roy's wearing this right now.
It looks like mousse, the dessert.
It does. It's very Brunello Cucinelli. Now, interestingly, Pantone's color of the year sees a 700% sales surge.
And this color of the year isn't the color of the year for 2024. Mocha Mousse is the color of the year for 2025.
Yeah, it's a trend prediction. It's a pre-trend. Basically, this is a pre-trending color. It's pre-trending is what we're saying.
Second, David Sachs was named the AI and crypto czar of the new administration of Donald Trump.
Sachs is the co-founder of PayPal, along with Peter Thiel and Elon Musk, and now he co-hosts the All In podcast.
Trump continues to turn to billionaire business people to reform and steer the government.
And finally, Dolly Parton is getting a Broadway musical in New York City, but with one big surprise.
Open casting.
Yeah.
Anyone can try out to win a part in the Dollywood musical.
Actually, Jack, specifically the starring role of Dolly. Anyone could get that role, apparently.
So Timothée Chalamet does a lookalike contest. Dolly Parton does a who's gonna act as me on Broadway contest.
You got Jolene down my memory. Head over to dollymusical.com. Good luck, Yetis. Good luck. Now, time for the best fact yet, and this one, as always, a new Monday tradition, is a trivia question.
What is the biggest shoe sponsorship deal of all time?
What is the biggest shoe sponsorship deal of all time? Got a quick hint. Can we give a little hint, Jack?
Go ahead.
Someone's mom was involved in this deal.
Give us your guess in the comments, and the answer is tomorrow's episode of The Best Idea Yet.
We'll let you know tomorrow, and then you can hear a whole episode on what this product is. The biggest shoe sponsorship in history.
Give us your guess in the comments.
Yetis, you look fantastic today. Jack, the newness is looking very good on you, my friend.
I can't believe writing down interesting things to talk to my wife was the best newness example I could think of.
I love that you got a list going here, and I kind of am now curious how long this list is.
It's only a couple bullet points every day.
And that's why she loves you. Yetis, HYHTBOY. Have you heard the best one yet? That is how we grow the show. Tell all your buddies at work, and Jack and I will see you tomorrow. And before we go, a happy birthday to Yeti Caden Silverstein over in New York City, celebrating with a big, big fiesta.
Happy birthday to Selvin Dubois, who's turning 47 in Guatemala City. Feliz cumpleaños.
And Princess and Garbear have an 8-year anniversary. They are celebrating a fantastic time together down in Houston.
Huge shout out to Beckham Hurden in Milwaukee, who's listening right now on the way to school.
And is going to get a great hat on the way. And Tariq Alaskar, listen to our weekly show, The Best Idea Yet, over the weekend. The new episode on Polaroid. Loved it. Thank you so much, Tariq.
And to anyone else celebrating something today, make it a T-Boy.
Celebrate the wins. And if you want to get a shout out on any T-Boy podcast, we've got a form in this episode description, or go to tboypod.com/shoutouts.
This is Jack. Nick owns stock of Lululemon. I own stock of Netflix, and we both own stock of Spotify.